All right, welcome back. In case you didn't hear, Shannon Evans, the UB guard, has signed with Arizona State. He's joining Bobby Hurley out west to the surprise, really, of nobody. Although I will say that I'm a little surprised, if only because I thought that Shannon Evans was in the right league. Now, I like him as a player. Is it okay to say that I like him as a player, Sully? Or do I have to be absolutely in love with him, like the Bills' defense?
It's okay.
Oh, this is okay? Yeah. I just want to make sure that I get, clearance from you.
No one's been calling him a historically great guard, so like they were the defense. But you can.
Shannon's a good player. I think the Pac-12 is going to be it's going to be tough for him. He gets a year, and when I say he gets a year, he needs that year.
He needs a year.
He needs a year to get some weight on him and get some muscle on him, and maybe develop a little bit more physically. I think to play in a league that has much bigger, thicker guards.
Right. I saw Arizona State when I was out there at the Super Bowl, and it seemed like it could use a dynamic player like that. But yes, the players are just bigger, thicker, stronger, and he's going to really need to develop himself better as a pure point guard, I think, to thrive at that level, because he's not going to go play the two against 6'5" NBA prospects in the Pac-12, and really thrive.
Here's the one thing that I do like about him, and then we'll get to the NBA. He, more than anybody else on that team, I thought was fearless. Right. That there was nothing that bothered him. I remember a game in St. Bonaventure, which is a really tough place to play. People don't understand how tough it is to play there unless you're at the game and those fans are right on top of you. And those guys were nervous and they were intimidated, and Shannon Evans was terrific in that game. And even in the NCAA tournament, it was Evans, the guy who ended up hitting shots early. It allowed UB to get their feet under him a little bit. So
I agree.
They're getting all the right qualities from the neck up. I'm not sure that he has the goods from the neck down. So, all right, listen, on to the NBA playoffs. Your Spurs, nice win, by the way.
I was nervous. Plus, my recording device broke, and I didn't get to see the end of it. But
it didn't break. You didn't set it long enough.
No. Bucky, believe me, I know what an idiot I am. I had it set for the extension, and it just stopped recording 2 hours and 17 minutes. Anyway, you don't want to hear that.
You had too much. You didn't have enough space.
Tim Duncan. I wish I could see the picture of me with Tim Duncan. I'm so proud to ever be in the same photo with him. He played the way Jabbar did in '85. 28 points. They really needed him. He's a marvel. While it's got younger guys like Ginobili and Parker have injuries that are holding them back, but he seems to, he's been in the best shape of his life, or the better shape than he was in 5-6 years ago in the last 2 years. But I'm worried about Parker. They're going to need a lot of play.
He is going to be back.
Out of Mills, I know, but he's not going to be himself. Who's an amazing player is Boris Diaw. He's a 250-pound center who plays like a point guard in the offense, which will help them if Parker can't play or play a lot.
What do you make of Rondo? Rick Carlisle, Dallas's coach, said that Rondo ran into back problems. I'm not questioning that at all, but it looked like he had more than back problems when you watched him play. It looked like he had attitude problems. And the Rondo that you saw, help the Celtics to a championship, lead them to a championship, that dude is checked out. He checked out of the season, it looks like, before the playoff season began.
He had a knee injury a couple of years ago, and the game is kind of passing him by. It's just not the same game. If you can't shoot nowadays with zone defenses as a point guard, you're going to have problems. And I think he's not the same athlete, and his attitude is just not there. He can't accept that he's a diminished version of what he was. And let's face it, he had 3 Hall of Famers around him in Boston, so he didn't lead anybody to the title.
Well, he led that offense. I mean, he's the point guard. He's going to be one of their leaders. Do you think it was just, sometimes there's just a bad fit. And Rondo Carlisle, there's no way to predict how they're going to get along until he gets there. When he first got there, I thought, look out for Dallas, because that was the missing piece right there. That's what they really needed, except that they started butting heads early like you and I do.
Yeah, I wanted him to help there. It was fascinating, but with Monte Ellis, I just didn't see it happen. Bucky was a bad fit in Boston. That's why he
ran him out of there. Right.
And he would have been a bad fit in a lot of teams that apparently weren't interested in him. He might end up Lakers. Kobe likes him. So we can have 2 guys who the game has passed by, play together in L.A., overpaid.
Monster egos.
Crowd. Yeah.
Well, how long is it? Look, when Kobe was there with Shaq, they had problems because there's only one basketball and 2 big egos. Same thing with Dwight Howard. He didn't get along with anybody there, even though Kobe was the guy who desperately wanted Howard in there. That's not going to work either. He needs to go somewhere else. By the way, we're going to take a break. That was a great win last night by the Warriors. Sully, I fell asleep. I'm thinking this game is over. I know it's the NBA, but 18 points in an NBA playoff game at home, you would think that they'd be able to hang on. Instead, Warriors come back from 20 down in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry gets hot, throws in 40.
A team that can shoot like that and play defense, they can make up some deficits.
All right, we need to take a break, and then we'll come back and wrap things up here on the Bucky and Sully Show.